Hey everybody, welcome back in the channel. It is Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th, 2024. Happy Mom Day to all the moms out there and everybody that has to put up with people like me. Like I've mentioned before, my mom will be here in not too much longer of time. I thought about getting her on video. I'm sure some people wouldn't mind seeing my mom, but we'll see what she says when she when she gets here in an hour or two. I'm filming this now, and then when she gets here, I'll ask her if she wants to insert a message. If she does, it'll be here. If not, we'll get into my topic of today, which is the best piece of reselling advice for 2024 I can give to everybody. First of all, there's no secret to reselling. Buy low, sell high, move inventory, all that sort of stuff. But the best piece of advice that goes along with all of that is don't be married to your inventory. Don't be married to your inventory. What does that mean? Do not be attached to your inventory. It's fine if you have some pieces that you really are stuck on and you really want a great price for. But if you are trying to get top dollar, highest mountain peak in 2024 for every single piece of inventory you have, especially in saturated categories or clothing or shoes, you're gonna fail, or you're not going to do as well as you could do. Now, I'm not saying race to the bottom, and I'm not saying to give your stuff away. By all means, do not do that. However, long gone are the days where you could just price stuff up here and just wait and it would sell and it would sell. There are too many options. People have eBay, they have Poshmark, they have Etsy, they have Shopify, they have Mercari, they have Facebook Marketplace, they have retail stores, they have local stuff, they have StockX, they have, Depop. There's too many places for people to go and price match. And there's always going to be somebody cheaper or somebody that they find with a better deal. In fact, we see that all the time on eBay when people want to cancel orders because found cheaper. How many people have gotten that message? Oh, please cancel the order. I found it cheaper. So you're already competing with a huge market, especially if you're in saturated items. If you're selling polos and t-shirts and stuff like that. If your item is a one-off or a unique item, and this is what I opened the video with, by all means, stick your price out there and see what happens. Like, you don't have to give that away. You don't have to race it down low and do it. But if you're in a saturated category, if your items or the majority of your items have tons of competition, thousands of other listings, exactly the same or very similar, you are up against a huge 8-ball in competition, and you can't be married to the inventory. Take offers, even if they're a little bit lower than what you wanted, take it. Turn and burn the inventory. Now, if you've got a $30 polo up and somebody's offering you $5, obviously common sense tells you don't take it. You can't even ship it for that much, right? Even if they're offering $10. Well, yeah, you could be left with a couple dollars. We don't want to give stuff away and race to the bottom. But if you got a $30 polo up and you're like, look, I'll take anything around like 24, 23, 25, those would be offers I'd probably accept. Somebody offers you $20, consider taking it. Take the 20, sell it, move it on. Especially if you paid like $2 for it, right? Or $3 for it. If you're paying thrift store prices, half off day prices, 99-cent store prices, take the money and go. I'll give you a great example. I had somebody message me yesterday on Saturday afternoon that they were considering an offer. They had a pair of shoes, pretty unique pair of shoes. There were a few other pair of these shoes, not exactly, but very, very close and in the same size. I would say there's probably half a dozen of them. They paid $20 for these shoes. Used shoes, but very unique looking shoes. And they had priced them at $150, which was about the going rate. There were some solds around $160, $130, $170. There were a few, half dozen more so pair that had sold. And they had priced at $150, and their competition currently, there was one person under them at like $135 or $140. There were several people around $160s, $175s, and I think there might have been one as high as like $195. They were $150, so like the best priced, and theirs was, in better condition than the one that was under them. So they were like the fairest deal, essentially. Customer came in, offered $125. They didn't want to take it because they felt like that was lower than anyone else. It was undercutting them. Their $150 was fair. And it was. $150 was a fair price for these shoes on everything that I could find. However, they paid $20 for the shoes. And $125 sale price, the fee was going to be about $15, leaving $110, $109, $110. And the shipping was probably going to be about $10 on the shoes, maybe $12. So they were looking at about a $90 in-pocket overall done deal, maybe even $85. It was a $65 to $70 profit, and they only had the shoes about a week. I think they bought them last weekend, no joke, right? And this was yesterday on Saturday. I said, if it's me, I'm taking it, because you don't want these shoes to sit for another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, all because you wanted an extra $5, $10, $15. And they were like, well, I think I'll counter them at $140. I was like, look, at this point, take the offer or don't. Like, take the 125. If you want to counter them, I get it. Counter them at 135. Maybe you get an extra $5 or $10. I'm taking the money and I'm turning it and burning it because it's a great profit. It's a fast turnover. It moves inventory. It keeps cash flow going. I'm not married to the shoes. Yeah, it's a little less than I would have liked, but I'm taking it. Like, I'm going with that model. Like, I'll give up $5 and $10 here and there on 20, 30, 40 pieces, $100, $150 in order to move an extra 10, 15, 20 pieces at $30 and $40 that ends up being equal to $600, $800, $900, $1,000 extra in sales, total gross, by giving up $50 or $100 in net because I gave up $5 or $10 on 10 items or 20 items or whatever it has been. That's all I'm trying to say is don't be married to the inventory. Consider fair offers. And when you are sending offers to watchers, example, same shoe, $150. People are sending out offers like, oh, get these shoes for $140. Get them for 10% off at $135 because I sent a 10% off $15 offer. That's really not enough for people to you want people to just click and buy. You want to be done with it, right? Send it at 20% off even. That would have been 30, would have gave them 120, would have probably been acceptable. If the offer came in less than 100, then by all means, no, you're not giving away. Even though a $100 offer would have probably still been like 70, 75 in pocket, 75 probably, and you would have still made 55. That's unfair. That's lowball. That's giving them away based on what they're valued at. You wouldn't do that. If somebody had offered 105, that's a number I probably would have countered at like 125 and said, hey, really appreciate the offer. How about I give you $25 off? That's a great discount. It's lower than everyone else. You would have probably made the sale. Or even 130, because I think the other lower ones were 135. Those are great options, right? Countering a 125 fair offer is probably going to result in the person saying no, or maybe going to buy that other one because you would have probably countered at like 135, 140. They might have went and bought the cheaper one. Who knows? Don't give them the opportunity. Make sure everything that buyer is thinking is your deal is the best deal and the way to go. Even if it's not exactly the cheapest or it's right at the cheapest, get them to make that purchase right then and there. Don't be married to the inventory. That's all I'm trying to say. I actually preach this to my fulfillment center customers and clients and my all-in-one clients where I tell them, let's just turn the inventory. It's fine to send me hundreds of pieces of inventory to store for you and ship out. But you don't want all this stuff stocking up my unit because one, it takes up a lot of room. You're not making sales. You're not making money. And I do give 6 months of free storage, which is fantastic, but you don't want that 6 months to come. And then all of a sudden you got to either pay me storage fees or you got to go ahead and have it all shipped back to you. And it was a big waste of time, right? Which is not happening. People are moving inventory. Our turnover rate is really, really good. Our sell-through rate is really good. And customers are sending me inventory that's actually moving. We just got in a whole big load from somebody. Whoop, whoop. And it's probably like 500 or 600 pieces. Anyways, the long story short here is don't be married to your inventory. Get rid of that inventory. You're not a storage facility. You're not what I'm doing. You are a sales facility. You are a sales business, not a storage house. You're not a storage unit. You're not a storage facility. If that's the business you want to be in, go build a storage facility. Go build storage units, rent storage units to people. If you want to sell stuff, sell it, move it. It's very hard. I found the two things that are the hardest for resellers. One, moving inventory, letting go, selling it, not worrying about the pennies. Don't trip over dollars to pick up pennies. If you don't know what that means, Google it. But the second thing is also letting go with their listings, their photography, their white backgrounds, this background, that background, their descriptions not being whole novels and paragraphs and just being the details that are necessary and just moving on. If all resellers stop trying to be perfect with listings, stop being married to their inventory, and started managing their time and their money and their sales turnover better, their sell-through rate, they would be way more successful than a lot of resellers that I see. That's my advice for today, guys. Mother's Day, Sunday, May 12th, 2024. As always, thank you so much for watching the channel. And hopefully my mom input some into this video. I doubt it. She hates the camera. She hates what I do. She doesn't hate what I do YouTube-wise. She just hates that I would try to include anyone else in it. So happy Mother's Day, Mom, and for putting up with me all these years. And 39 of them next month, actually. So thanks to all of you and all of your moms for all that they do. Hit that like button, you guys. Helps the algorithm, helps me get this out to more people. Subscribe to the channel like always, and I will see you tomorrow.